Welcome to Wealthy Muslim Woman Podcast, a resource for Muslim women to learn about money, how to create it, grow it, and to protect it. Money's easy. All that's needed is the right mindset. I'm your host, Dr. Saima Ali, with life coaching tools to truly help you create wealth in all areas of your life. Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome to another episode of Wealthy Muslim Woman Podcast. Today, I want to talk about rich versus wealthy. What does it mean to be rich and what does it mean to be actually wealthy? And one of the definitions that Robert Kiyosaki gives in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is that rich people have money and wealthy people never worry about money. Now, what does this all mean and how can we be wealthy instead of just being rich? When you think about rich people, it is high income earners. So it can be doctors, lawyers, somebody working on the Wall Street, or anybody making lots of money. But what differentiates them is that the money that they earn, they usually end up spending it. And they have to continue to work to maintain their lifestyle. So one example is rich athletes or rich celebrities. So for example, Mike Tyson, he was making over $100 million a year. But when he stopped working, all that money was gone. He had nothing left. So he had to continue to work to support his lifestyle that he was living. Rich people have high income and they want to spend the money to maintain a status. So they'll have memberships to country clubs. They spend on luxury items like expensive bags, expensive shoes, and they continuously have to work to pay off for these things. And they are usually buying liabilities versus assets. So what is a liability? Liability is anything that's going to be an expense. So for example, if you buy a brand new car, the moment you drive it off from the dealership, it depreciates in value. So that is a liability. Even buying a home, an expensive home, where all your money is going into mortgage and this is your primary residence, that can also be considered a liability because it's not going to grow at a rate where you can take back the money or take out the money. It ends up being an expense that you have to pay lots of interest for. You're taking out a big loan. The loan is usually based off of interest and you are not building an asset unless you buy a rental property. So a rental property would be an asset because it's working to give you money back. Each month you are collecting rent from there. So a liability is usually something that loses value over time, whereas an asset is something that grows in value and gives you money back. So this is your money working for you rather than you working for your money. So it can be a company through the stock market. You can have invested in index funds that provide dividend and if that money is getting reinvested, then that money is growing for you and you are building an asset for you instead of liability spending on something that loses its value over time. And what is the biggest asset that we can have? That is time. So we all get the same amount of time, but keeping it or using it that creates value is what the biggest problem is for average people or for middle class people versus rich people. Rich people value their time and they'll spend money to have that time, but that time to create value in instead of sitting at Netflix or doing something that's not going to create value overall. So the biggest difference between wealthy and being rich is that rich people acquire liabilities, whereas wealthy people don't worry about money. They invest their money and they have that money working for them. So you can be making $1 million a year, you can be making $1 billion a year, but if you're spending more than $1 million or more than $1 billion a year, then you are not you are not spending it wisely, if it's on things that lose value, and you are rich and you are not wealthy, and you're going to have to continue to work to maintain that lifestyle. It is like competing with the Joneses. So buying the expensive house, buying the expensive car. A lot of times what happens with high income earners is that their expenses keep going up as their income increases. So if a resident graduates from residency and they're attending now and they have a huge jump in their salary, instead of living that same lifestyle that they were living in a small house, they want to go and spend that money by buying the big house and buying a big car to show off. So wealthy people are acquiring assets, and assets can be stocks, usually that pay dividend or are growing in value, or it can be a real estate portfolio, so something that's bringing in income. And wealthy people also have multiple sources of income. So they are always looking to create many different sources of income. So they'll acquire different businesses. They may continue to have a W-2 job or a job that pays them a salary, but they'll also be looking to expand themselves. So learning new skills, going back to school, acquiring anything that's going to create value for them and that's going to help them grow in the long term rather than stay where they are. So the key here is to change the mindset. Instead of thinking of having money or being rich as somebody who has stuff versus being wealthy and having assets. That is the biggest key to being wealthy. Each month from your salary, whatever you are getting paid, you should be saving at least 10 to 15% of your income should be saved and should be going into building assets. So you should be buying some stocks. You should be saving that money to purchase a real estate property, either single, duplex, whatever you can afford in your area, or any other assets. So creating a business, maybe you want to buy a laundromat or you want to buy a store with things opening up after COVID. Hopefully this will give a boost to local businesses as well. And of course, you should always be saving any pre-tax money that you can. So 401ks, Roth IRA, any other retirement accounts that you get through your work, that should be the top priority. And then even after that, even after saving pre-tax, you should be saving after tax as well and investing that money as well so that it's growing faster for you. So you are not wealthy just because you have a high income. You have to become wealthy by creating sources of income for yourself and by having your money work for you instead of having to work for money endlessly. That is the game changer. And we need to change our mindset and change the trajectory of our future generation, of ourselves, and of our future generation by teaching our kids how to save money and how to invest money and really creating a bigger difference in the community. Over 78% of people in the US live paycheck to paycheck. So that means their money is spent even before they get it. So when they get the check at the end of the month, they're using that money to pay off bills that they have already acquired in the previous month. So they are unable to save. And I am in that spot right now because I've been out of work for so long. So I quit my job last year in June. And then the savings that I had were going towards my monthly loan payment. So my student loans, the only debt I have, and basically used up my savings. And now I have to rebuild to get to the point where I can save some and also spend some money on the things that I have already spent on. So of course I am already taking advantage of the 401k that's offered. I would never let that money go because as the year goes, you're not able to go back to the previous year and put that money in, put that pre-tax money in, so that we never want to lose. So I am using that right now, saving into my 401k, whatever I can, and then trying to save each month while also trying to save up to pay for my student loans as well. I've got about 120K left now. Part of me just wants to use up whatever I have saved and just pay it off. But part of me just wants to take it slow, and because my interest rate is really, really low, and just pay it off each month versus paying it off right now. So, but I'm still thinking about that. So that may change. I'll let you guys know if I decide to pay them off early. And we're talking about that. My husband wants to create kind of a joint family budget now. In the past, we've kind of been doing our own things, using our money however we want without really sharing with each other. But we're heading towards more of a joint decision making. So he hates that. He hates any sort of debt. So we may go towards the route where I just pay it off. So I'll keep you in the loop for that. And that is it for this week. So let me know what you think. And please do not forget to leave a 5-star review in iTunes on Apple. I really appreciate that. All right. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And the next episode is going to be more about mindset versus just about money. Because remember, money is 80% mindset and only 20% knowledge. So we'll get to that. Bye.